So this tutorial is going to be about layouts and specifically how we're utilizing the layout, importing the layout into your own projects as a checklist for this sort of back of house mechanical systems. We're at a point in the project where the complexity is starting to ramp up. And once we pass this hurdle, once you get this puzzle done, it becomes a lot easier. Things start to level out. But just think about how many buildings typically go in like a neighborhood, right? A lot of utility buildings, a lot of sort of distributed items like transformers, which we now have to collect at the bottom of our building if we're continuing to use the narrative that this is a neighborhood in the sky. So we're going to utilize a tool from last semester, which is layouts, and I've created this layout with a bunch of different layers, and they're all color-coded as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at how you would import this layout. So if you recall, if you just go into your file, this is a work session file, by the way, so you can see the Spring site here is loaded in. I can't modify anything, but I can turn it on and off. So you might have your couple group members files here. And once you import this layout, you're going to see this is going to really, probably exponentially increase. But don't be daunted by that. But anyways, to import this layout, let's go down here at the bottom of our screen, this bottom tab. Let's hit the plus check, and we're going to import a layout. Now this will be on Canvas. It will be called Ground Floor Plan Layout. I'm going to hit open here, and it's going to take a second. But you can see a couple things happen. So it puts us onto this page. It's an 11 by 17 sheet. There's a title block down here, and you're going to have to change these words here by selecting the text and going into the text there. You don't need to change this stuff for the scale, but you do need to change where you're located. And you can see that it's already populated with the legend. So this will hopefully expedite things. Now if we take a look at the layers, these are also you can see that there's sort of a color palette that we're establishing here. We have this sort of orange tint to denote what's going in the back of the house. So these are mostly like electrical and plumbing rooms. We have amenities and residential things. We're gonna sort of follow a blue theme. Our porches are going to be a hatch, so we want to actually leave those open, but we wanted to note that they're still being covered, so we're going to put a hatch there. Our vertical circulation is going to have a teal hue to it. So those are things like elevators and stairs, but not fire stairs. Fire stairs we want to particularly call out because we need to easily see where they go, because it's a very important part of the code for fire safety of buildings of this height. And then the last thing is this sort of tan hue for lobbies and corridors, so we can have a neutral color to see where the more open space is, where people are sort of not necessarily congregating, but they're moving through. So once you get that imported, you should have all of these layers that also populate for you. And it might just seem like, oh, we only have 4 or 5 layers, it's not that many, but when you expand them and you see their sublayers, this is really when we're utilizing this as a checklist. So I'll expand another one here. This is the back of the house stuff, and it's again using that orange sort of theme. And we have an electric building or electric room for the retail. We have emergency electric. This is by no means a completely exhaustive list, and you also don't have to use every single one of these. So if you don't have retail, you won't need a retail electric room, for instance. But everybody will need transformer vaults. But if you have, a vertical farm down here or something as a completely, whatever scenario, you might have to add another back of house room here. And to do that, you can always right-click the parent layer, and you can make a new sublayer. Just change it to the same color here. And you can get the tints on the HSB sliders. You can get those tints, and you can change it to the same color if you need to.